And our top focus of this hour is on the 17th BRICS summit in which Prime Minister Modi participated in Rio de Janeiro. In his address to the BRICS nations on day one of the summit, Prime Minister Modi denounced the Pahalgam terror attack that India faced on April 22nd this year. He said that the attack was a blow to entire humanity, asserting that silent support of terrorism is not acceptable. Prime Minister Modi called for a unified stance against terror and also said that there should be no hesitation in imposing sanctions on the terrorists. Acknowledging the Prime Minister's concerns, BRICS nations strongly condemned the Pahalgam terror attack as criminal and unjustifiable. The summit declared that those involved must be held accountable and that zero tolerance on terrorism must be ensured. In fact, Prime Minister Modi also continued his Global South outreach and said that two-thirds of humanity has not been adequately represented in the global institutions. He added that the Global South has not been given a place at the decision-making table and that this is not just a question of representation, but also a question of credibility and effectiveness.
Terrorist attack in strongest terms. He underlined that the attack, the Pahalgam attack, terror attack, is an onslaught on the entire humanity. He also noted that those funding, promoting and providing safe havens to terrorists must be dealt with in the harshest terms. In the session on strengthening multilateralism, economic, financial affairs and artificial intelligence, Honorable Prime Minister expressed that diversity and multipolarity were valued strengths of the BRICS. He added that BRICS could play an important role in shaping a multipolar world. In this context, he also gave few suggestions in terms of considering setting up a science and research repository in the BRICS groups.
So Prime Minister Modi addressed the session on peace and security in the 17th BRICS summit, where he raised the Pahalgam terror attack issue as well, which was condemned by the BRICS nations. Now, Prime Minister Modi said that those funding and promoting terrorism must be dealt with within the harshest terms. And he also said that the Pahalgam attack is an onslaught on the entire humanity. Now, Pahalgam attack was also strongly condemned by the BRICS nations. In fact, they also called out the double standards while dealing with terrorism. Now, Prime Minister Modi also spoke on various issues, which also included saying that developing countries require greater support for sustainable development. He also highlighted that the global organizations lack the capacity to deal with the challenges of 21st century and that they are still working in the 20th century and that they need reforms to deal with the challenges that are being faced in the 21st century. And he also called for multipolar inclusivity, world order, and he also called out the UNSC, IMF, World Bank, saying that they must undergo urgent reforms. So terrorism was a key discussion in the BRICS summit, in which all the BRICS nations strongly condemned the Pahalgam terror attack. And Prime Minister Modi also said that those who are funding and promoting terrorism and provide a safe haven to the terrorists must be dealt with harshest terms. So that's the key developments that happened on the first day of the 17th BRICS summit being held in Rio de Janeiro, in which Prime Minister Modi participated. Now, in his address to the BRICS nations on the day one of the summit, Prime Minister Modi denounced the Pahalgam terror attack that India faced on April 22nd this year. And he said that the attack was a blow to entire humanity, asserting that silent support of terrorism is not acceptable. In fact, he also called for a unified stance against terror and said that there should be no hesitation in imposing sanctions on terrorists. So that's a strong message given out by Prime Minister Modi at the BRICS summit, that there should be no hesitation in imposing the sanctions on the terrorists. And he also called for a unified stance against terrorism. Now, acknowledging the Prime Minister's concerns, BRICS nations strongly condemned the Pahalgam attack, and they also called out the double standards while dealing with terrorism. So Prime Minister Modi sent out a strong message that those who are funding terrorism will be dealt in the harshest terms, and in fact they should be. And the BRICS nations also condemned the Pahalgam terror attack, calling it criminal and unjustifiable. Now, the summit declared that those involved must be held accountable and that zero tolerance on terrorism must be ensured. Prime Minister Modi also continued his Global South outreach and said that 2/3 of humanity has not been adequately represented in global institutions. He added that the Global South has not been given a place at the decision-making table, and this is not just a question of representation, but also a question of credibility and effectiveness. My colleague Shivani Sharma is now joining us with more details on this. Shivani, the issue of Pahalgam terror attack was discussed in the BRICS summit, with the BRICS nations strongly condemning the terror attack. In fact, Prime Minister Modi also sending out a strong message that those who are funding terrorism must be dealt in the harshest terms.
See, Anjali, this was a unison joint statement, and BRICS members, they have condemned the Pahalgam attacks. And India has once again kept its stand against terrorism, they say, and the Prime Minister has made it very clear that India will continue to for its approach of zero tolerance against terrorism. And in this joint statement, it has been very important out here, Anjali, that all the nations, they have jointly condemned the Pahalgam attack. Not only this, on the tariffs issue also, the unilateral approach has been condemned by the BRICS nations. And Prime Minister Narendra Modi has also called for multilateralism, multinationalism, and he has said that that approach should be made, that all the nations should grow together. There should be no unilateralism in terms of the in terms of the tariffs. And here, very important was the issue of terrorism, especially after Pahalgam attack. All these countries, they have shown solidarity with India. They've condemned the terror attacks in Pahalgam. And India has once again kept its stand very clear that it will keep the zero tolerance against terror approach continue, and it will fight against terror. All the nations should take this issue seriously.
All right, Shivani, thank you for getting us those details and for that context. With that, we're now shifting focus. We are getting some breaking news. Pakistan terror comes back to haunt it. Now, terrorists openly threaten Pakistan. Mullah military alliance goes after its own. Hafiz Saeed's son blackmails Bilawal Bhutto. Bilawal had offered terror extradition to India, and now he's being openly threatened by the jihadi groups in Pakistan. 2611 plotter's son terror blackmail to Bilawal Bhutto. Now remember, Bilawal Bhutto had asserted that his country had no objection to extradite terrorists like Hafiz Saeed and Masood Azhar to India as a confidence-building measure. But after that, a row has erupted in Pakistan, with Pakistan terror groups now openly threatening its own leaders. Mullah military alliance goes after its own. Hafiz Saeed's son has blackmailed Bilawal Bhutto. And this comes after Bilawal Bhutto offered terrorist extradition to India. Now he is being openly threatened by the jihadi groups. Now remember, the political party PMML also condemned the remark that was made by Bilawal Bhutto, who's the former foreign minister of Pakistan. And now in the latest, he is also receiving threats from the jihadi groups in Pakistan. Now Hafiz Saeed's son has openly threatened Bilawal Bhutto for his statement.
आज हमारे सियासतदान उनके मुंह में जुबान दुश्मनों की हो और वो किसी भी पाकिस्तानी को दुश्मन के यानी हिंदुस्तान के हवाले करने की ऑफर्स करते फिरें, चे जाए कि पाकिस्तान की एक मोतबर शख्सियत मेरे वालिद मोहतरम हाफिज मोहम्मद सईद हफिज़हुल्लाह के बारे में ये अंदाज और ये बातें इख्तियार की जाएं, तो हम इसकी भरपूर मजम्मत भी करते हैं और हम ये वादे करते हैं कि हम और हमारी कौम इस पर आपका मुहासबा करेगी।
And my colleague Arvind Oja is now joining us with more details. Arvind, बिलावल भुट्टो के बयान के बाद, एक्स्ट्रेडिशन वाले बयान के बाद उनको काफ़ी खुली चुनौतियां और धमकियां मिल रही हैं पाकिस्तान में। हाल ही में हाफिज सईद के बेटे तलहा सईद ने उनके रिमार्क को कंडेम भी किया है और खुली धमकी भी दी है।
बिल्कुल, देखिए ये खुली धमकी है और 3 मिनट 30 सेकंड के इस वीडियो में तलहा सईद ने न सिर्फ बिलावल भुट्टो को धमकी दी है बल्कि ओपन चैलेंज भी किया है। आपको बताऊं, जो हाफिज सईद है वो यूएस डेजिग्नेटेड टेररिस्ट है, न सिर्फ हाफिज सईद बल्कि उसका बेटा तलहा सईद भी। और सीधे सीधे जिस तरह से ये कॉन्फिडेंट होकर बाकायदा ओपन चैलेंज कर रहा है बिलावल भुट्टो, ये पाकिस्तान में मुल्ला मिलिट्री जो अलायंस है उसको सीधे सीधे स्टैब्लिश्ड भी कर रहा है। अब आने वाले दिनों में बिलावल भुट्टो की भी मुश्किलें बढ़ेंगी, क्योंकि जिस तरह से ऑपरेशन सिंदूर के दौरान जो लश्कर का हेडक्वार्टर था मुरीद के, उसको इंडिया ने निशाना बनाया था। उसके बाद बिलावल भुट्टो ने एक बयान में ये कह दिया कि अगर इंडिया का कंसर्न होगा तो हाफिज सईद, मसूद अजहर को इंडिया डिपोर्ट किया जा सकता है। उसके बाद लश्कर तोयबा जो आतंकी संगठन है उसमें काफी ज्यादा गुस्सा है और अब उसका बेटा सीधे सीधे न सिर्फ अपने पिता जो आतंकी हाफिज सईद है उसको उसके बचाव में दलीलें दे रहा है, बल्कि वो ये साफ साफ कह रहा है कि बिलावल भुट्टो के इस बयान की वो मजम्मत करता है, विरोध करता है और इसको लेकर लश्कर के जो आतंकी है वो सड़कों पर भी उतरेंगे। देखिए, बिलावल भुट्टो को भी ये बहुत अच्छे से मालूम है कि जो पाकिस्तान कभी भी मौलाना मसूद अजहर या फिर हाफिज जैसे आतंकियों को भारत को नहीं सौंप सकता, क्योंकि पाकिस्तान आर्मी ही ने ही मुल्ला मिलिट्री अलायंस के तहत इन आतंकी तंजीमों को बनाया, उनको फंड किया और इस तरह के जो बड़े आतंकवादी हैं उनको खड़ा किया इंडिया के खिलाफ प्रॉक्सी वॉर के लिए। तो ये मुमकिन ही नहीं है, लेकिन बिलावल भुट्टो के इस बयान के बाद अब उनके खुद के देश में जो आतंकवादी संगठन है, जो आतंकवादी है, वो उनके खिलाफ अब मोर्चा खोल लिया उन्होंने।
जी अरविंद, आपका बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया इन सारी जानकारी के लिए। सो बिलावल भुट्टो इज फेसिंग अ लॉट ऑफ backlash and in fact open threats from his own country after he made the extradition offer to India. Now, weeks after India's Operation Sindoor, Pakistan's former Foreign Minister Bilawal Bhutto Zardari said that Islamabad would be open to extraditing individuals of concern like Masood Azhar and Hafiz Saeed. More on this in our next report.
Pakistan battered by India. Terror hubs and key military installations destroyed. The terror state unable to face India's Pahalgam attack payback. It begged for a ceasefire, and here is more proof that Pakistan is facing multiple thrashing from India. Pakistan's former Foreign Minister Bilawal Bhutto Zardari revealed that Islamabad is open to extraditing terror masterminds like Masood Azhar and Hafiz Saeed, who top India's most wanted list.
The fact is, generation after generation, India and Pakistan have been trapped in conflict, historically over Kashmir,
Sure.
more recently over terrorism. The cases that we're having difficulty in prosecuting these individuals are the ones that are of interest to India, and there's a reason for that. It's because India is refusing to comply with certain basic elements that require those convictions to take place. If India is willing to be cooperative in that process, I'm sure there will be no hurdle in extraditing any individual of concern.
Soon after this, terrorist Hafiz Saeed's son, Tala Saeed, lashed out at Bhutto for bowing down to India.
आज हमारे सियासतदान उनके मुंह में जुबान दुश्मनों की हो और वो किसी भी पाकिस्तानी को दुश्मन के यानी हिंदुस्तान के हवाले करने की ऑफर्स करते फिरें। मेरे वालिद मोहतरम हाफिज मोहम्मद सईद हफिज़हुल्लाह के बारे में ये अंदाज और ये बातें इख्तियार की जाएं।
Even Imran Khan's party PTI rained fire on Bhutto and called him an immature political child. Bilawal Bhutto's remarks come just days after Defence Minister Rajnath Singh issued a stern warning.
पाकिस्तान के हक में यही बात होगी कि वह अपनी जमीन पर चल रही आतंकवाद की नर्सरी को अपने हाथों से उखाड़ देंगे। इसकी शुरुआत इसकी शुरुआत उसे हाफिज सईद और मसूद अजहर जैसे आतंकवादियों को भारत के हाथों में सौंपने से करनी चाहिए।
But can Pakistan be trusted? Or is it just a ploy to lower pressure, especially as India has launched multi-front strikes at Pakistan? Pakistan is facing water scarcity after India suspended Indus Water Treaty. Trade with India has also been stopped by the Modi government. And terror funding watchdog, FATF, has put Pakistan under scrutiny over terror financing. Pakistan is facing the heat, and Bhutto's statement is the proof. But can Pakistan government really crush its terror nursery? Lashkar-supported political party PMML has opposed Bilawal Bhutto Zardari's recent statement on handing over person of concerns to India. PMML is led by Hafiz Saeed's son, Talha. Pakistan has maintained that Hafiz Saeed is in government's custody and Masood Azhar may have fled Pakistan. Can the terror state be trusted to deliver India's top enemies, Masood Azhar, Hafiz Saeed, Dawood Ibrahim, Chota Shakil and Tiger Memon? Or is it just a ploy to hoodwink like always? Bureau Report, India Today.
And we're now getting some breaking news from the state of Bihar, where big Muharram Day violence is being reported. Stones pelted at Hanuman temple by mob. Violence and stone pelting during Muharram event is being reported. Hanuman temple damaged by the violent mob. And the puja has been restarted amid heavy police presence. The cops blame anti-socials in the Muharram march. So this breaking news coming to the fore from Bihar's Katihar, where a big Muharram Day violence is being reported. Stones were pelted at Hanuman temple by mob, and the Hanuman temple was damaged by the violent mob, though the puja has now restarted amid heavy police presence. Now, the police blame anti-social elements in the Muharram march. So these are the visuals of the stone pelting that is being reported from Bihar's Katihar during the Muharram march. The stones were pelted at Hanuman temple that has been damaged due to the stone pelting by the violent mob. Though in the latest update, the puja has restarted amid a heavy police presence, but a significant damage was caused to the Hanuman temple by the violent mob who pelted stones during the Muharram march. And this is being reported from Bihar's Katihar. You can see in the visuals how the stones are being pelted at the Hanuman temple. The cops have blamed the antisocial elements in the Muharram march behind this incident. So these are the visuals in which you can clearly see that how the antisocial elements, as claimed by the police, are pelting stones at the Hanuman temple, causing damage to the temple. This violent mob pelted stones at the Hanuman temple in Katihar during the Muharram march. Now, these people were part of the Muharram march and were then pelting stones at the Hanuman temple that was damaged because of the stone pelting. And now there's a heavy police presence, and the puja has now restarted.
मंदिर में लोग जुलूस लेकर आया था सर। इस तरह का ये लोग जो उत्माद मचाते हुए आया, अब मंदिर में कुछ महिला सब खड़ी थी और उसमें पत्थर उत्थर ये लोग चलाना स्टार्ट कर दिया। चलाने के बाद उसके बाद कुछ हम लोग के यहाँ का संगठन खड़ा था, तो कुछ नहीं किया। यही लोग जितना उत्माद पचाना था करके ये लोग चल गया।
अब क्या चाहते हैं?
क्या चाहते, इस पर कड़ी से कड़ी कार्रवाई होना चाहिए। अब क्या चाहना चाहिए?
हमारा हनुमान मंदिर पे ये लोग आज मुहर्रम का दिन था ये लोग का, तो आज ये लोग ने रिटर्न जाने के समय में ये लोग महावीर मंदिर, सार्वजनिक महावीर मंदिर पे ये लोग ईटा पत्थर चलाया है। ये चीज़ अच्छा चीज़ नहीं है। किसी का भगवान का स्थल पे हम लोग उन लोग का स्थल पे नहीं जाते हैं कि इस तरह हम लोग करने। हम लोग भी पर्व त्यौहार अपना खुशी मनाते हैं, उन लोग का भी खुशी मनाना चाहिए कि किसी का स्थल पे नहीं करना चाहिए।
स्थिति पूरी तरह से हमारे लिए
इंटरनेट को बंद किया गया।
हाँ, कहा गया है बंद करने के लिए, अनुरोध किया गया।
सर लोगों से क्या?
लोगों से कहेंगे देखिए शहर आपका है, त्योहार है ये, सबको मिलजुल के करना चाहिए। कुछ होगा तो सभी लोगों को परेशानी है। सर मुझे तो जो हमले हुए उस पर कार्रवाई होगी, भयंकर कार्रवाई होगी, किसी को नहीं बच सकता।
And my colleague Rohit Singh is now joining us with more details on this. Rohit, help us understand what exactly happened, how exactly this unfolded, the stone pelting by the violent mob who was a part of the Muharram march.
Well, see, it was the Tazia Julus which was being taken out by the Muslim community in Katihar. And late in the evening at around 4:30, 5 o'clock, when the entire procession, Tazia Julus, was passing from an area where there was a Mahavir Mandir, that is when the situation went out of hand, because what it is being alleged that the people from the Muslim community, they pelted stone at the temple, and which infuriated the other side, and that is why then from the other side also some stone pelting took place. So there was a clash that broke out between the two communities, and later on several vehicles in that area that were also vandalized, and the situation went completely out of hand. And later the police had to reach the spot, the administration has to reach the spot to contain the situation and to control it. And it was late at night by which the situation was brought under control. But massive tension prevailed entire evening yesterday in Katihar during the Muharram procession that was taken out by the Muslim community. And now the administration, the police are trying to identify the antisocial elements who were part of that procession, which pelted stone at the Mahavir temple and which infuriated the other side, and trying to find them, locate them, and also arrest them right now. But the situation now has been brought under control, and peace is back in Katihar at this point of time. But yesterday, it seemed that the entire area had turned into a battlefield, literally.
Right. Also, Rohit, how many people are said to have been injured during this chaos and the outbreak that happened in Katihar between two communities? And also, what action has been taken by the police so far to restore the law and order situation?
Well, see, the priority of the local administration initially was to bring the situation under control. So therefore, heavy police deployment was put in place immediately after the incident took place, and later on, several police personnel were also called from the adjoining districts like Purnia, Kishanganj, Araria. And then by night, there was a heavy police deployment that took place, after which the situation was brought under control. What we are learning is that about a dozen of people from both sides have been injured in this entire case. But now the police priority, the administration's priority, is to identify the antisocial elements who were part of that procession and to nab them. And based on the CCTV footages that have been placed in that area because of the Muharram Julus, the police is working to identify them and also nab them. But right at present, the situation has now been brought under control in Katihar.
Rohit, also, was there not adequate security and police deployment at that moment, knowing that it was Muharram Day?
Well, see, there was a police deployment, but the number of people who were part of the procession outnumbered the police presence on the ground, and that is why the situation went out of hand. And as I told you, since the people who were present as a part of the procession outnumbered the police personnel, that is why for almost about an hour or two, they went on a complete rampage. They pelted stone at the Mahavir temple, pelted stone at the people, after which vehicles were also vandalized. Several vehicles were completely damaged. And late at night, the people from the other community, they also, as a mark of protest, they were burning tires on the road in several parts of Katihar. So the situation was completely out of control for about 3 hours yesterday evening. But later on, heavy police deployment, reinforcement was sent. And as I told you, several police teams from the adjoining districts were also called in, after which the situation was brought under control. And late at night, the Tazia Julus was also asked by the Muslim community to finish the procession peacefully. And now the situation in Katihar has been brought under control. Back to you.
All right, Rohit, do stay with us. We're getting some more breaking news from the state of Bihar itself. And now this is regarding Bihar political war over Muharram. Now Lalu Yadav and Rabri Devi pray at Muharram march at home. Meanwhile, BJP fires appeasement drive at Lalu clan, saying that Lalu Yadav had attacked the Mahakumbh, but is now having prayers at Muharram march at home. And now Nitish Kumar's JDU and Chirag Paswan's LJP has slammed Lalu Yadav's appeasement.
श्री लालू प्रसाद और श्रीमती राबड़ी देवी का जो मुस्लिम प्रेम है, ये पूरा ढकोसला है। वोट के राजनीति के लिए कभी टोपी पहनते हैं, कभी तजिया पूजा करते हैं, कभी जो है रमजान के महीना में इफ्तारी देते हैं। लेकिन आज तक मेरा चैलेंज है कि किसी मुसलमान भाई के लिए वो आज तक एक भी विकास काम नहीं किए हैं। नाटक नौटंकी करके उनके वोट को ठगने का काम किया है, पंचर बनाने से कभी उठने नहीं दिया है। ये है राजद का मुस्लिम प्रेम और लालू प्रसाद के परिवार का मुस्लिम प्रेम। ये सिर्फ अपने परिवारवादी लोग हैं, सिर्फ अपने वोट के लिए मुसलमानों को इस्तेमाल करते हैं।
लालू जी इनका परिवार और उनकी पार्टी राजद अपने आप को असली समाजवादी बताते हैं, लेकिन यह लोग समाजवाद कब कब भूल चुके हैं। दरअसल ये कभी समाजवादी थे ही नहीं। ये लोग तो अकदियत परस्त नमाजवादी थे और हैं, और नमाजवादी ही रहेंगे। इनका ताजा उदाहरण आज देख लीजिए। जब राबड़ी देवी जी के आवास में तजिया घुसाला और राबड़ी देवी जी ने तजिया को झुककर प्रणाम किया। इनके बेटा और मुख्यमंत्री पद के तथाकथित उम्मीदवार तेजस्वी यादव जी मंदिर में जाते हैं तो टीका लगा लेते हैं, लेकिन जब मस्जिद जाने लगते हैं तो टीका मिटा लेते हैं। यह सच में नमाजवादी लोग हैं।
राजद और लालू प्रसाद यादव का पूरा परिवार आडंबर में डूबा रहता है, दिखावे की राजनीति करते हैं कि वो मुस्लिम समुदाय के हितैषी हैं। उनको केवल वोट बैंक से ज्यादा कुछ नहीं समझते, इसलिए एमवाई समीकरण बनाया है। ये मुस्लिम समुदाय को गुमराह करने की कोशिश करते हैं। 2005 तक लालू प्रसाद यादव के राज्य में मुस्लिम समुदाय सबसे पिछड़े समुदायों में से एक था, आर्थिक और शैक्षणिक रूप से। वो तो भला हो नरेंद्र मोदी जी का, हम लोग की सरकार का, कि जब से हम आए हैं तब से सबका साथ, सबका विकास और सबका विश्वास की बात करके हम आगे बढ़ रहे हैं।
And my colleague Rohit Singh continues to stay with us. Rohit, on one hand, Lalu Yadav had attacked Mahakumbh, calling it useless and also calling out the mismanagement. On the other hand, we are seeing the rituals of Muharram being performed at his residence. So now the BJP, the LJP and also Nitish Kumar's JDU is calling it appeasement politics by the Lalu Yadav family.
Well, yes, and that's not without a reason that the opposition or the BJP is attacking Lalu family, because as you rightly pointed out during the Mahakumbh, Lalu himself called ये फालतू चीज है. He called it useless, फालतू. And now yesterday when the Tazia procession was going to take place and all the people entered Lalu's residence, we saw that the Lalu family was praying at the Tazia. And the pictures went viral on the social media. So that gave enough ammunition to the BJP and the JDU and other NDA leaders to attack Lalu Prasad, that on one hand you call Hindu events like the Mahakumbh as faltu and useless, and on the other hand it's the Muslim appeasement which is on at display where they are praying at the Tazia. And the NDA leaders are claiming that it's because of the elections that are just around the corner, and Lalu Yadav wants to ensure that his core vote bank, that is the Muslims and the Yadavs, stay intact and they vote for him. And that is why we are seeing that Muslim appeasement was at display as the opposition leaders are claiming and hitting out at Lalu. They are also claiming that Lalu only believes in taking vote of the Muslim community, but in the past also and presently also has never done anything for the betterment and upliftment of the Muslim community. Back to you.
Right, Rohit, do stay with us. Now, RJD Chief Lalu Prasad Yadav, who had earlier labelled the Mahakumbh as useless, and we're now being joined by RJD's Mrityunjay Tiwari on the broadcast. Mr. Tiwari, we are seeing that on one hand, Lalu Yadav's family slammed the Mahakumbh, saying that it is useless and saying that there's a lot of mismanagement. But on the other hand, the same family is now performing rituals of Muharram at their own residence. What message is the RJD trying to send out?
देखिए, मैसेज क्लियर है कि हिंदुस्तान अपने संविधान से चलेगा। गंगा जमनी तहजीब कोई खराब करने का प्रयास करेगा तो ये संभव नहीं है। कुंभ पर सवाल आदरणीय लालू प्रसाद जी ने नहीं उठाए थे। उन्होंने व्यवस्था पर, जब वहाँ दुर्घटना घटी थी, कई हमारे श्रद्धालुओं की जानें चली गई थी, उस पर आदरणीय लालू प्रसाद जी ने कहा था कि ये व्यवस्था ठीक नहीं है, फालतू व्यवस्था किया है। और जहां तक तजिया की बात रही, जहां तक आपको पता होना चाहिए कि आदरणीय श्रीमती राबड़ी देवी जी छठ पर्व खुद ही करती थी। छठ पर्व होता है, दुर्गा जी का दशहरा, दुर्गा जी की पूजा, नवरात्रि होती है। यही ना हमारी खूबसूरती है कि हम मंदिरों में जाते हैं, हमारे मुस्लिम भाई मस्जिदों में जाते हैं, सिख भाई गुरुद्वारे में जाते हैं, ईसाई भाई चर्च में जाते हैं। सारे जहां से अच्छा हिंदुस्तान हमारा क्यों कहा गया है? इसलिए कहा गया है कि न हिंदू बनेगा न मुसलमान बनेगा, हिंदुस्तान में लोग इंसान बनेगा। ये तो हिंदू मुस्लिम के नाम पर जो सियासत कर रहे हैं, वो ये बता ही नहीं रहे कि 11 वर्षों से काम क्या किया। ये बिहार में हिंदू और मुस्लिम के नाम पर ये नफरत फैलाना चाहते, भाई भाई को लड़ाना चाहते। आदरणीय लालू प्रसाद जी की यूएसपी है कि शांति, सद्भाव, प्रेम, भाईचारा कायम किसी भी कीमत पर। इसलिए उन्होंने उस समय आडवाणी जी के रथ को भी रोका था बिहार में, चाहे सरकार चली जाए चाहे सरकार बचे। जो यूएसपी है उससे समझौता नहीं हो सकता है। ये गंगा जमनी तहजीब को कोई खराब नहीं कर सकता है। ये बिहार है। क्यों बीजेपी वालों को पेट में दर्द हो रहा है? ये क्या चाहते हैं? तलवार बांटने का काम करने वाले, नफरत बांटने का काम करने वाले। श्री तेजस्वी यादव जी ने तो कलम बांटा, नौकरी बांटी।
मृत्युंजय तिवारी जी, सवाल ये उठ रहा है कि लालू यादव जी ने महाकुंभ में डुबकी भी नहीं ली, महाकुंभ को बुरा भला भी बोला, यूजलेस बोला इनफैक्ट। लेकिन दूसरे तरफ जो हम देख रहे हैं विजुअल्स में, उनके खुद के घर पे मुहर्रम के जो रिचुअल्स है वो परफॉर्म किए जा रहे हैं, मुहर्रम मनाया जा रहा है। तो ये दोहरा चरित्र क्यों?
हमें ये बताइए, इस बार के महाकुंभ के पहले कभी आपने देखा था कि आदरणीय योगी जी, आदरणीय मोदी जी कुंभ नहा रहे हैं? इतने प्रचार प्रसार किया जा रहा है। आदरणीय लालू प्रसाद जी की तबीयत नासाज है। उन्होंने, आपको ये भी पता है कि वहां घटना घटी, कई लोगों, श्रद्धालुओं की जाने गई। इस व्यवस्था पर कोई अगर सवाल उठाएगा तो वो कुंभ का विरोधी हो जाएगा। बीजेपी के खिलाफ अगर कोई उनकी नाकामी को उजागर करेगा तो वो हिंदू विरोधी हो जाएगा। ये हिंदू का सर्टिफिकेट बीजेपी वाले बांटेंगे। ये हिंदुस्तान है, यहाँ अपने नियम कानून संविधान से चलेगा। आरएसएस और बीजेपी के ज्ञान से नहीं चल सकता है। रही बात कि हम तजिया हो, हम नवरात्रा का, रामनवमी का जुलूस हो, हम छठ पर्व हो, हम हर पर्व त्योहार को मनाते हैं, एक दूसरे के पर्व त्योहार को मनाकर उसमें खुशियां बांटते हैं।
ठीक है मृत्युंजय तिवारी जी, आपका बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया इंडिया टुडे से बात करने के लिए। सो अ पॉलिटिकल वॉर ऑफ वर्ड्स हैज नाउ इरप्टेड इन बिहार ओवर लालू यादव performing the Muharram rituals at his own residence, while he earlier had labelled the Mahakumbh as useless, calling attention to the mismanagement at the Mahakumbh Mela. Let's listen in.
क्या 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 मांग करेंगे कुंभ में सर? जिस तरह से भीड़ बढ़ रही है,
अरे तो कुंभ का क्या कोई मतलब है? फालतू है कुंभ, चलो।
And we're now getting some more breaking news. Big breakthrough in the Khemka murder case. Bihar police take one murder suspect in custody now. The cops grill Khemka murder suspect, and it has now been revealed that there was a recce at the businessman's home before the murder. Cops suspect role of 3 in the Khemka murder case, and the cops are also saying that 2 spotters helped the shooter kill Gopal Khemka. So big breakthrough in the Gopal Khemka murder case. Remember, he was murdered in Bihar's capital Patna. Now, the Bihar police have taken one murder suspect in custody and they have grilled Khemka murder suspect. It has also been revealed that there was a recce that was conducted at a businessman's home before the murder. And the cops also suspect the role of 3 people in the murder case, and one suspect has already been taken into custody. The cops are saying that 2 spotters helped the shooter kill Gopal Khemka. So that's the big development coming to the fore as far as the Gopal Khemka murder case is concerned. The businessman was killed in Patna, which is Bihar's capital, after which a lot of questions on law and order were being raised against the Nitish Kumar government. Now there's a big breakthrough. The Bihar cops have taken one murder suspect in custody and he has been grilled. The Khemka murder suspect has been grilled by the cops. It has also been revealed that there was a recce that was conducted at the businessman's house before the murder, and the cops now suspect the role of 3 people in this murder, and 2 spotters helped shooter kill Gopal Khemka. This is what is being claimed by the police. A full-blown war has now erupted over the electoral roll revision process in Bihar. Tejaswi Yadav's RJD has approached the top court, challenging the Election Commission order on revision of the electoral rolls in the state. RJD has alleged that the roll revision process is hasty and that the move will take away voters' right in an already document deficit state. RJD's plea is that the latest among a chorus of political voices from the opposition criticizing the Election Commission's order to conduct the exercise in the poll-bound state. Now, TMC has also taken the poll panel to the court. TMC MP Mahakumbh has alleged that the exercise is illegal and is a move to defeat democracy with the help of democratic tools. She has also alleged that the Election Commission is BJP's arm and that West Bengal is its next target. Amid confusion and rumors, the poll panel has also issued a clarification saying that the process is being conducted as per special intensive revision instructions dated June 24, 2025, and that there is no change in the instructions.
বিশেষ নিবিড় সংশোধন যেটা আরম্ভ হয়েছে বিহারে সেটা তো আসলে বিহার কেবল ঝাঁকি হ্যায় अब काम तो बंगाल में बाकी है এটাই হচ্ছে নির্বাচন কমিশনের নতুন নীতি আর এটা বিহার বাংলাকেই এটাকে বাংলার যে আমাদের নির্বাচন আছে 26-এ সেটা কিভাবে বিজেপিকে সাহায্য করে বাংলার ভোটারদের ভোটাধিকার কেড়ে নেওয়া যায় এটাই হচ্ছে তাদের মূল উদ্দেশ্য।
आपका काम है मतदान के योग्य व्यक्ति को लेना, दस्तावेज इंगित करना नहीं है कि ये चलेगा ये नहीं चलेगा। मैं कह रहा हूँ चुनाव आयोग के पास इन सब चीज़ों के बारे में पूरे बिहार में हाहाकार मचा हुआ। 25 दिन के अंदर किसके लिए संभव है कि दस्तावेज की अहर्ताओं को, इसलिए मैं कह रहा हूँ ये दाखिल करने की योजना नहीं है, बेदखल करने की योजना है।
कि लोगों से फॉर्म तो दे रहे हैं लेकिन वहाँ के जो मतदाता है, लोकल लोग हैं, उनको कहते हैं कि हमारे पास तो ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा आधार कार्ड है और वोटर आई कार्ड है, उसको मानने को तैयार नहीं थी। और चुनाव आयोग ने खुद ही कहा कि 20% लोग तो रह ही जाएंगे, तो एक तरह से फ्रॉड है और सुप्रीम कोर्ट को हस्तक्षेप करना चाहिए। उम्मीद है कि सुप्रीम कोर्ट हस्तक्षेप इंटरवीन करेगा, वरना लोकतंत्र का खात्मा है इस देश में।
And we're now getting some more inputs regarding the Bihar electoral roll revision issue. Petitioners to mention matters for urgent hearing. Now, the Association for Democratic Reforms and Mahakumbh are likely to mention and seek urgent hearing in the Supreme Court. The battery of senior lawyers likely to appear as multiple PILs have been filed against the special revision of electoral rolls before the Bihar election. Now, PILs have sought stay on revision, setting aside the Election Commission's order. Please have also sought stay on any future orders of Election Commission for similar revision exercise. So that's the latest that's coming in, that the Association for Democratic Reforms and Mahakumbh are likely to mention and seek urgent hearing on the electoral revision issue in the Supreme Court. A battery of senior lawyers are likely to appear as multiple PILs have been filed against special revision of electoral rules before the Bihar elections. PILs have sought stay on the revision and also setting aside the Election Commission's order. In fact, the pleas have also sought stay on any future orders of the poll body for similar revision exercise. It's BRICS versus Donald Trump once again. In Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, the BRICS summit is taking place, which was attended by Prime Minister Modi. During the summit, BRICS leaders attacked Donald Trump, saying that Trump's tariffs might shake the world's economy. They also claimed that Trump's bill is also inconsistent with the international laws. They said that Trump's tariffs may distort trade. Trump has hit back at BRICS and reiterated the warning of a hike in tariffs. Trump says any country that pursues anti-American policies will face an additional tariff of 10%. Remember, in February, Trump made a similar attack on BRICS, claiming that tariffs would be hiked if they tried to undermine the dollar.
How about BRICS? You know, the BRICS states, there are like 6 of them. And they were trying to destroy our dollar. They were going to say, you know, they wanted to create a new currency. They probably wanted to use the yuan. China, they wanted to use the yuan. And Biden said, well, this is a tough situation. There's not much we can do about that. We can't help that. I said, oh, we can help it. So when I came in, the first thing I said is any BRICS state that even mentions the destruction of the dollar will be charged a 150% tariff. And we don't want your goods, we don't want to partake. And the BRICS states just broke up. I don't know what the hell happened to them. We haven't heard from the BRICS states lately.
US President Donald Trump has signed tariff letters to 12 countries, serving them with take it or leave it offers. Amid a global trade war, Trump had suspended tariffs over 10% for 90 days to allow time for deal negotiations. The new tariff letters will be given today at 9:30 p.m. A deal with India has also not yet come together, and sources have told India today that India and US have completed trade talks and are positive about the outcome. Now, as per sources, the deal will help India's labor-intensive sectors and be fair towards agriculture and dairy sectors that have long remained amongst India's concerns. And ahead of the deadline, Trump has said that 12 letters with different tariff rates are set to go out on Monday, that is today. But he declined to name the countries involved. Till date, the US only finalized agreements with the UK and Vietnam, and an interim truce was reached with China. But US talks with major trading partners such as Japan and the European Union have not yielded a breakthrough so far.
Sending letters out on Monday having to do with the trade deals. Could be 12, maybe 15. You know, Secretary of Commerce right here. And I guess, Howard, I would say it could be maybe as many as 15 or so. And they'll be going out on Monday, and some will go out on Tuesday and Wednesday, and we've made deals also. So we're going to have a combination of letters, and some deals have been made.
But they go into effect on August 1st. The tariffs go into effect August 1st, but the president is setting the rates and the deals right now.
And we're now getting some breaking news. Khalistani terrorist Harpreet Singh, alias Happy Pasya, is being brought to India. Central agencies are bringing Happy Pasya to India, and the terrorist is being brought to India from Sacramento in United States. The National Investigation Agency has also placed a bounty of 5 lakh rupees on Happy Pasya. But very soon the terrorist will be brought from the United States to the Delhi airport. Now, he has carried out many terrorist incidents in Punjab in collaboration with Pakistan's ISI and terrorist Rinda and BKI, Babal Khalsa International. And he's now being brought to India by the central agencies. He'll be brought from Sacramento in United States to India. And he has been involved in terror incidents in the state of Punjab in collaboration with the Pakistan ISI and also terrorists Rinda and Babal Khalsa International. And my colleague Arvind Doja is now joining us with more details on this. Arvind, और क्या जानकारी मिल रही है हैप्पी पासिया के एक्स्ट्राडिशन के बारे में यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स से इंडिया?
देखिए, जो हरप्रीत उर्फ हैप्पी पासिया, ये पंजाब का गैंगस्टर है जो जब अमेरिका पहुंचा तब पाकिस्तानी खुफिया एजेंसी ISI के साथ मिलकर पंजाब में लगातार टारगेट किलिंग की वारदातों को अंजाम दिलवा रहा था और हाल फिलहाल में पंजाब पुलिस पर और पंजाब के जो पुलिस स्टेशन है उस पर एक के बाद एक कई IED ब्लास्ट करवाए। इंडियन एजेंसी के इनपुट पर अमेरिका में इसे 2 महीने पहले अरेस्ट किया गया था। अब सेंट्रल एजेंसीज के सोर्सेज ने इंडिया टुडे को कंफर्म किया है कि बहुत जल्द जो हरप्रीत उर्फ हैप्पी पासिया है उसे इंडिया लाया जाएगा। बहुत मुमकिन है कि कुछ दिनों के अंदर वो दिल्ली एयरपोर्ट पर मौजूद हो और वहाँ जब दिल्ली एयरपोर्ट पर पहुँचेगा तब उसे एजेंसीज अरेस्ट करेंगी। इस पर NIA ने 5 लाख रुपए का इनाम रखा हुआ है और ये इतना बड़ा टेररिस्ट है कि खुद FBI चीफ ने बाकायदा सोशल मीडिया प्लेटफॉर्म X पर ये जानकारी दी थी कि जब हरप्रीत अरेस्ट हुआ था तब खुद FBI चीफ ने इसकी जानकारी दी थी। लेकिन अब सोर्सेज ने कंफर्म किया है कि हरप्रीत उर्फ हैप्पी पासिया को बहुत जल्द इंडिया लाया जाएगा और जाहिर सी बात है ये एक बड़ी कामयाबी होगी इंडियन एजेंसीज के लिए, क्योंकि 14 से ज़्यादा एक के बाद बैक टू बैक टेरर इंसिडेंट इसने पंजाब में करवाए हैं बब्बर खालसा इंटरनेशनल के टेररिस्ट के साथ मिलकर और ISI के साथ मिलकर। तो ये बताया जा रहा है कि बहुत जल्द दिल्ली एयरपोर्ट पर जो हरप्रीत उर्फ हैप्पी पासिया है उसको डिपोर्ट करके लाया जाएगा।
जी अरविंद, आपका बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया इन सारी जानकारी के लिए। एंड विद दैट वी नाउ शिफ्टिंग फोकस, वी आर गेटिंग सम मोर ब्रेकिंग न्यूज़। Big boost for Modi government's one nation, one poll push. Ex-CGI's crucial backing for the one nation, one poll. Justice Chandrachud backs simultaneous polls in the nation. He says that the ex-CGI says that one nation, one poll is constitutional and that EC can't have sweeping powers. So that's a big boost for the Modi government's one nation, one poll push. Now, ex-Chief Justice of India Chandrachud has now backed the one nation, one poll, saying that it is constitutional and that the election commission can't have sweeping powers. So the Modi government's one nation, one poll has got a strong backing from the ex-Chief Justice of India, Chandrachud, saying that the one nation, one poll is constitutional, and in fact he has also said that the poll body, the election commission, can't have sweeping powers, and he has clearly backed the idea of simultaneous polls in the country. Remember, the BJP, the NDA government has been backing the idea of one nation, one poll, where simultaneous polls should be conducted across the country. They cite that this would save a lot of funds that are spent during the campaigning during several elections that are held across the nation across the year. And my colleague Piyush Mishra is now joining us with more details. Piyush, big and strong backing from ex-CJI Chandrachud, saying that the one nation, one poll is in fact constitutional and that there should be simultaneous polls in the country.
Well, certainly that's what we are now hearing, that former Chief Justice of India, and they have now conveyed their views to a parliamentary committee on this bill, where they have said that simultaneous polls have endorsed the constitutionality of the one nation, one election, but they've also raised the concerns over the various aspects, which also includes the power given to election commission, and they have also offered multiple suggestions. Remember that former CJI D.Y. Chandrachud, who was also part of this entire group, has submitted his opinion to the JPC, where he has dismissed the opposition's criticism that synchronization of local polls and state assembly polls violates the constitutional basic structure. And he has also said that Constitution never mandated holding national and state elections separate. Results is big win for the government's move. At the same time, a few concerns have been raised by the group of former CJIs. We have to wait a lot how the political parties like BJP and Congress are going to speak on this. But at the same time, it is also important to understand that CJI Ranjan Gogoi, in the questioning of sweeping powers, has said that the powers would have been granted to Election Commission in the proposed constitutional law without laying down any guidelines for the exercise of discretion. This is somewhere the concern which has also been raised before the parliamentary panel. We have to see how the political parties are going to look into the concerns which have been raised, and at the same time the kind of support which they have extended to one nation, one poll.
All right, Piyush, thank you so much for getting us all those details and for that context. Well, with that, it's a wrap on this bulletin. Thank you for watching India Today. More news and updates continue on the other side.